Sideburns, sideburns.
Yo, what's the word? 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 Just talking how you talking. Bosses language bosses before you step in the office. What's the word? 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 Just talking how you talking. Bosses language bosses before you step in the office. What's the word? What's the word? Oh, I have something to say. Have some words dropping to your light. Hurry under late. Spill that tea. What you waiting for? We just want the word. Don't tell us nothing crazy that's gonna get up on our nerves. Just chill, relax. Live in the moment while we put it on wax. We live on Anchor every Wednesday of the week. So tell your family and friends where you be. Yo, what's the word? 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 Just talking how you talking. Bosses language bosses before you step in the office. What's the word? 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 Just talking how you talking. Bosses language bosses before you step in the office. What's the word? What's the word? What's the word?
What's up? This your girl, Kiss Calhoun. You heard me. And we're back for another episode of What's the Word. You already know who I'm being joined by. The legendary, the who, Mr. What, Mr. Where, Mr. D.Jon.
What's up, good people?
Caught you off guard
It's your
with that.
boy D.Jon. And we're back for another week of What's the Word. This is episode Deuce Trade 23. Oh,
I
what's
hope
the
I said
word?
that right in
Let's
Spanish.
get it.
So today, like I do every day, we're talking about what's your thoughts on marriage. Is it something for you in this day and age? And how do you feel about divorce rate in married couples? And if you could give advice to someone who wants to be married, what would it be? And of course, we got to let's talk with D.Jon. Of course, we're going to talk about marriage in the LGBT community and how you feel about discrimination with marriage. And if you could give advice to someone wanting to be married to their partner but are afraid because of each other's family's approval. And of course, we're going to give y'all that what's the info with the millennials and the divorce rate. Of course, we have that messy tea from the one and only, the messy shade. You hear me? We're going to talk about Gayle King sits down with Sis Oprah and says it was hard for her after doing an interview about Kobe Bryant. Of course, we're going to be talking about Mr. Kenneth Petty has finally registered as a sex offender and how messy Meek Mill can be when it comes down to this whole shabacle. Jesse Jackson has endorsed Bernie Sanders. Baby, somebody, Cronulla, take me out right now. And of course, DaBaby issues an apology over the viral video over the weekend that shows him hitting a fan in the face. Of course, a hairdresser reassures a 4-year-old who called herself ugly. And R.Kelly, one of his little things said he said she said all that in a hot bag of chips. Of course, we're gonna talk about Amanda Seales' reaction of the real clip where Lonnie Love was crying about, eating healthy and stuff. I hope you saw that clip because when I saw I died.
This was recent?
Yes, this is recent.
Why would you laugh at somebody crying?
Because it's funny. And then we're going to talk about comedian Corey Helcom's what's his opinion about plus-size women in a Reddit interview. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, D.Jon, let's talk about what's our thoughts on marriage in this day and age. You think it's something for you?
I'm I'm in a toss-up with the whole marriage thing.
Let's talk.
You know what? Like I have, you know how like we think about it is, if it's something we could see ourselves doing, and we're picturing like the how the day is gonna be, what we're gonna be wearing, how our hair is gonna be, and
Uh-huh.
who we're gonna be standing next to, who's gonna be, in our wedding and things like that. That's all fine and dandy, but I just feel like, I'm just in a toss up with it. Like I really don't truly know if that's something I'm ready to commit to, and I'm man enough and I'm grown enough to admit
Just
that.
be a man
You know,
about it.
I'm grown enough to admit, that I don't think that's something I'm ready for. I feel like I'm still in that stage, I'm still in that day and age where I'm still trying to find out exactly what do I want
What do you
from a
want
person.
to be married
So
to?
I
In
don't
the
know.
beginning,
It's not even necessarily. What did you say?
I said the person who that you want to be married
Oh,
to.
yeah, but
You
I
finding out.
feel like I would have to get to that stage because it's just it's crazy out here. Like you have to not only
Basically,
worry
you
about
just
your
be you
feelings,
until
right?
you find that one person that make
Right,
you
but it's like
turn to that point in marriage.
right, but it's like you have to worry about your feelings, and you also have to worry about if this person is gonna switch up on you or not. That's the daily struggle that we go through when we're dating, conversating, connecting with people.
All that
You
and
just
above.
don't know. So it's hard to say. Well, shit, I'm gonna get married because you're not even thinking about that right now. You thinking about in the moment in time. Most people are, I can't speak for everybody, but I know for me, I'm just thinking about in a moment of time.
Well, for me, like, of course, like, you don't think about it, but you grow up to know about marriage. I think it have a lot to do with how you raise, in a sense. Because if you don't grow up around a bunch of married people, then of course you're not gonna want to seek out, be like, girl, when I turn 21, I'm gonna get married. Like, so you don't necessarily think about it in that sense. You just think about it when the time comes. Because I know, as far as for me, I didn't see a lot of marriages growing up.
Neither did
So
I.
I do want to get married eventually, but it won't be like a traditional, I might have like a La Beyonce wedding, on a
What
rooftop.
is a Beyonce wedding?
Nobody know, bitch. Nobody ain't fucking know Beyonce and Jay-Z had they got married until they told everybody, I
Right.
want it to be like that. But, you know, how do how do we feel about like marriage in this day and age? I think marriage now is not the same as it was when our ancestors was growing up, and our old people and our daddies and grandma aunties who and all that. When they was growing up, they viewed marriage different than what this day and age view marriage. I think a lot of people desire to be married, but they also desire to, like you said, have somebody who they connect with and really truly love than to waste their time with
Mm.
somebody. And I think for so many years in the past, that's why we don't have a good representation of marriage, is because people just did what they wanted to do with
Mm-hmm.
people who they wanted to do. They didn't even
Mm.
necessarily care who came into the world. Like, kids ask to be here, but they get here. And like, I think, like, as far as me, my ideal version of marriage is not like how my mom and my dad
Mm.
was, because they was married for like a long time but separated for a long time. Like, even though they were still married to the day he died, they were separated for about at least 20. He died 13, so 23 years
Oh
he was
wow.
separated since we was
Damn,
10
that's a
months.
long
So
time.
saying that they married and never really saw them together is like, do you really want
Right.
that? So
You
this
don't
day
want
and
that.
age is so messed.
That's not your ideal
Right.
marriage.
And because of that, so many people being born into that kind of ideal way,
Mm.
they don't seek out want to be married. And then when they do, they typically find people the same traits as their fathers and mothers or
Mm.
whoever they looked up to
Mm.
growing up. So I think this day and age, people will rather get the bag than get money. I mean, and get money than to get married. But I think it's more so that they're waiting to be stable. Because when we talk about the millennial and the divorce rate, and why the divorce rate is kind of like at a low point than uh people who, the baby boomers and the generations before us, their divorce rates is fairly high because they now are realizing that shit, they married the wrong fucking people. You know what I'm saying? Old people are getting to their 80s and getting divorced. They have a
Really?
lot. They have a lot more couples that are in like 60-year marriages and they're getting divorced because they real like with the investment of relationships in in the world. Because we have to look at it like humans are evolving along with technology. Because you have apps at your disposal to get on an app and meet you a quick little slob and knob, It's so easy. So back in people time who was married back in the day didn't have all this type of technology. Now they could go on
But to
farmersonly.com
me,
and get them a farmer. Like they could get them somebody that they could slide in.
you do not listen to her.
You
to
don't
me,
have to be lonely.
but to me, like
And farmers only.
to me, I feel like just like you said with the whole desire, people desire, that's what they want, and you mainly see it, more with women, because I feel like I don't really necessarily think men actually they desire, but I think you see it more in women, desire to be married. That's like the ultimate goal.
Because
to have a husband, to have a family.
You have to realize why it's that way, because girls are trained early at a young age about this with the baby dolls. We talked about it in past episodes where look at how you're training girls to be wives. We get kitchen sets at a young age. We get like baby stuff to play with babies. Like, so that's basically preparing you for housewife. Not to mention, like, there's all these princess movies, Princess and a Frog, Princess and a Keisha go to the hood. Tyrone Saves Keisha, Love's Tale. Like,
girl, shut
they
up.
have
They
all
do not have that out. Back to what I was saying.
No, I'm just saying they have all these little fairy tale movies that people could get the illustration or representation from, that girls are traditionally it's instilled in them at a young age, whether they confined to it or break away from it. So I think that's why it's typical in women.
Typically with women.
And
I just
men
feel,
have like a little disconnect with that, because they like, here, go take this Tonka truck and go play in the sand, and he don't even know nothing about baby dolls.
He just know he won't play with his damn truck.
So chuck in the sand and work and get the money. He get in the bag. He don't know nothing about the family. We fucked our children up. So this is an episode about how we fucked our kids.
So with the desire part, I feel like a lot of key factors play in it, and two factors that I can just say off the top of my mind is definitely peer pressure and social media. For one, with peer pressure, social media and peer pressure going hand in hand, because you're seeing this ideal love, that friends or people that you just connect with on social media. You
Trey
see that
be looking
they're
good on a
the
Sunday.
man, he looking all glistened.
You get to see them instant
the
without
woman,
having to go out.
They're out on dates and things like that, and then they post a proposal, and then they post the stuff leading up to the wedding, and then they post the wedding, and it's all fire and fly, and you want that because that's what you see. But it's like when you necessarily get it,
you're like, I don't want this.
It's not like that.
This conversation literally came up when I watched Real Housewives of Atlanta, and on the Shade Room they had like a clip talking about how Kenya Moore's husband was like, he hate being married. And I was like, nigga, nobody ain't put a gun to your head and tell you to marry her. Like, if you knew you had these feelings, like if you talk about the peer pressure, if you felt like you was being pressured to being married, then that's something you should have communicated.
Right, but see, it's not that easy, and we see that with a lot of marriages. I had a conversation with somebody, like last year.
Let me play the Beyonce.
I'm not gonna put
Maisha.
Too much of the business out. I'm not gonna put too much of the story out, but basically,
spill tea from the messy D.Jon.
Basically, it was a man in a relationship with a woman, and he was not happy because he couldn't truly be who he was. So
and
they
who
were
he really was.
They were in the process of divorcing, but it wasn't easy because due to the children that they had together and the businesses that they created together.
So
So
let's
they
talk
had,
about that too. When you
well,
when
you're
you
right.
finish the story, we're gonna
So
get into
they
that.
had to basically, how he was explaining it to me, which I thought was just crazy, because I feel like this is my mindset, a single mindset, thinking like if you're not happy, you can't eliminate yourself out of these situations. The children are at a understanding to where they're in preteens, so they understand. They may not fully understand, but they understand that mommy and daddy are not happy together. They're gonna possibly
Separate or get
separate or get a
divorced.
divorce. So in an instance, that's what he was saying, that that's what was possibly happening. Well, that's what was happening. It was, they were preparing to do that. You know what I'm saying? But he said that it wasn't something that was going to happen overnight, and we all know that things like that, they don't happen overnight. But I see a
And
lot,
of course,
and I just revert back to that. I see a lot of men that are in marriages, relationships, that aren't happy because they're peer pressured into doing these things, or they feel like they have to do this because either she's pregnant, somebody suspects the way that he acts is kind of strange. You get where I'm going with that?
yeah.
He could be doing this because of the way, how some of his ways were when he was growing up, how doggish he was and stuff like that, and maybe if he married this woman, it could change him. So there's a lot of factors that play in it. But what I normally see is, we see a lot of men and women that are in relationship marriages that aren't happy, and then would 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 really puts the nail on the coffin is when children are involved.
Right.
So it just it's a lot. It's a lot, that we could sit and we could analyze and things like that. But when the fact of the matter is, everybody has their different reasonings on why they divorce and they separate. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course, of course. But like what we're gonna discuss, what's how do we feel about divorce rates in married couples? Like with that one scenario is definitely a big chunk of how married couples are, and especially when they have children involved. I mean, there is no easy way that you can separate yourself. Of course, eventually people fall in and out of love, but that's why open dialogue and open communication should be involved in.
Mm-hmm.
People shouldn't, when we talk about peer pressure, I feel like the term peer pressure for me feels like you allowing a situation to
Someone to
take over.
dictate you.
Right. So
Someone or a situation to
if you
dictate
weak
your
minded,
mindset.
you of course you're gonna fall under peer pressure. You're gonna fall from the depths of peer pressure and be married. Oh, cause my mama, my great grandfather got married. My great grandfather, like I gotta get married too. Marriage is not for everybody. Let's just say it right now. Marriage is not for everybody. Just like parenthood is not for everybody. Some people should have pulled out and swallowed. Okay, but they didn't, and children came into the world. But this is gonna just have to be something for your colleague friend to think about, and just like have open conversation. Look, mama and daddy are not, they gonna always have love
Oh,
for
I,
each
I don't I
other.
don't talk to him anymore.
Oh,
This was like last year.
oh,
It was some.
but
We're not gonna get into
it
that.
still was a good conversation,
It
because it
was a
was
good
something
conversation
that
because
he
it
should.
actually, like, I was intrigued because, like, I wanted to know.
If you're not happy, then you should
Right.
definitely
And
be.
that was my question.
Nobody is in charge for anybody's
Right. And
happiness.
that's what I was saying. I was like, why stay in something when, and it was on each sides. Neither one of them was happy.
Right.
So I'm like, why are y'all staying? And I get it.
As a
That
matter of
it's
fact, I was the
chill.
one who said I love you for it. Ray J.
I know who that is. It's crazy. Just because y'all have children don't save things.
Right.
I'm here to
I
tell you
mean,
that children do
at
not
the end of the
save
day, it's
things.
something that person had to think about, and
Yeah.
like, you know what?
I would have loved to for me and him to continue to connect, but he was on some other type
Right.
shit. But
And then some people can't just accept
right,
everything
because I
people
really
dishing
wanted to
out.
know how that went. You know what I'm saying?
You got your Connie Chung interview ready,
Yeah,
huh?
I wanted
You
to
got
know.
your Gayle. No, you ain't a Gayle King.
No,
You ain't trying to bash
no,
nobody.
I didn't bash nobody.
But
But I would have really liked to see how that happened. If they decided to actually divorce, and how is that going if they actually decided to stay together?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's weird if you're going in a house with somebody and y'all sleeping in separate rooms and things like that. Like
Baby,
that
my
is so
grandparents
crazy.
did it for
I can see. Well,
for
see,
all our lives. Our
but see,
grandparents
that's a
did it.
different conversation in itself because with older folks, I
They
see that
just
a lot.
stuck it out.
My great uncle and my and his
Grandpa
wife,
slept in a different room
they sleep
and
in different
came
rooms.
to every function like we
Right.
was all put together.
But just like my mom was explaining to me, she's that's not necessarily meaning that they don't,
Love each
love each
other.
other. It could just be
It's just
different reasons. My uncle has health issues,
mm-hmm.
so it orders him for it, to be in a separate bed, and things like that.
Uh-huh.
But
But
yeah.
still, some
But
married
to
couples
be
do.
young like that,
Yeah,
and y'all actually having issues, and y'all
right,
sleeping in separate
right.
rooms.
So it's just something that they got to think about and stuff like that. But we're gonna take a little break, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk about like if we could give advice to anyone wanting to be married out there. And my Sarah McLachlan voice. We out here giving advice, and of course we're gonna talk. Let's talk from D.Jon's point of view. Of course, we got the messy hot tea already on Zach. You hear me?
Period.
But here's one from our exclusive featured artist, 602 Prophet, artist out here repping New Orleans by way of Arizona.
Oh.
This one is different paths, vibe to it. Hope y'all enjoy it. We gonna enjoy it and see what it's talking about. Yeah, it's me.
Can I get my head straight? Can I get my mind right? Can I have my time back? Can I cop a dime back? Can I get my head straight? Can I get my mind right? Can I have my time back? Can I cop a dime back? Can I get my head straight? Can I get my mind right? Can I have my time back? Can I cop a dime back? Can I get my head straight? Can I get my mind right? Can I have my time back? Can I cop a dime back? Can I get my head straight? Can I get my mind right? Can I have my time back? Can I cop a dime back? Can I get my head straight? Can I get my mind right? Can I have my time back? Can I cop a dime back? Goddamn, baby, you so goddamn crazy. Thought you was my lady. Turns out you played me. Ain't seen or heard from you lately. So fugazi, guess I can't blame you. Such a wild thing, no, I can't tame you. But for you, I write these songs in haikus. Guess it's cause I still do like you. Seen you in your new clothes, caught me off guard once I peeped at your culo. It's a shame we went on our different two roads. Wish I could've kept up, but you said I'm too slow. Always pictured us together, skirting off in a two-door. But I guess I'm player Albert way I pull hoes. Could never love a bitch the same way I hold you close. No matter who I'm with, you still numero uno. At least in my eyes, but then again, yeah, who knows. Hope you doing good, yeah, I'd like to give my kudos. It kinda hurts me in the worst way, cause you was there for me when I was dealing with my worst days. Now I can't even hit you up on your birthday. Always send my thoughts and prayers, sincerely yours with love and care. I just hit you up to see how you living. I'm a little fucked up, yeah, I admit it. And when I wake up, I probably will regret it. I just hit you up to see how you living. I'm a little fucked up, yeah, I admit it. And when I wake up, I probably will regret it. I just hit you up to see how you living. I'm a little fucked up, yeah, I admit it. And when I wake up, I probably will regret it. And when I wake up, I probably will regret it.
Yo, we're back. You heard me, and that was 602 Prophet with different paths. That was a good joint. Yo, that was a good joint. But let's get back into this conversation when we was talking about marriage, and like if we could give an advice to somebody who wants to be married, would it be? So I would tell a person basically, if you want to get married, marry someone that you can stand Because if you can't stand them, then it won't work. You're gonna always argue. Bitterness is not the way to go. Okay. Um, Also, don't marry for like love, because love is an emotion and it tends to change. It will hurt. It will be good times, bad times. So don't put your whole marriage based on because I love Tyrone and Tyrone paid a bill and he all that. But Tyrone been cheating on you with Keisha. So basically, like, deal with someone that's gonna be just as hardworking as you and go getter attitude. And if kids become involved, love the kids because kids have no say so at all. Because basically, kids don't ask to be in a situation. So be responsible parents in a sense. D.Jon, any advice?
I would have to agree with you on that. Don't marry for love. I think that was an amazing point. I want to piggyback off that.
I sound
honestly,
like Moesha right in her diary.
No, but it's true. Like I feel like if you're gonna marry somebody because you know that it feels right. You know that in your heart, this person is meant for you.
Don't marry a Ike because that was peer pressure for Tina. Tina needed her check and she chased the bill.
But I would just say, say the question again.
If you could give advice
Give it right.
to someone who wants to be married, what would it do?
If I feel like if that's what you feel like you want, do it. Stick it out. It's gonna get hard. I don't know personally, but I've heard that it is hard. It's not easy. But if it's worth it,
Fighting for,
go ahead
fight for
and
it.
do it.
And
I'm rooting you. I'm cheering you on.
right. So let's talk a little bit, D.Jon, about marriages in the LGBT community and how you feel about the discrimination with marriage, and if you could give advice to someone wanting to be married, but their partner's people like not approving of it, what would it be?
So it's great that you brought this up. I was talking to one of my good friends. Shout out to Tommy Walker, for this amazing insight on gay dating and things like that, and why some reasons why it's not so successful. So I felt like it plays a major role in marriages and relationships, and with the all marriage being equal to everyone as of 2016,
I think so. Yes.
something like that. We've seen a lot of LGBTQ plus marriages, unions. But the reason why, as far as with this, I just put down some key points on, why it may, not be so cliche or easy for someone of the LGBTQ plus community to marry. Or be in serious relationships.
Right.
One thing comes to mind, of course, is sex. Sex is easy. Sex is the easiest thing possible in the world today, especially for homosexual men. We have these dating apps out here where it's easy to access sex. You don't have to do much. All you gotta do is, if you got a nice
Back
ass,
alley
a
at the
big
condo store.
piña. I mean, the
It's
Eddie,
getting
and it's on and popping, so sex
in
is
the Uber
easy.
everywhere, baby.
And I feel like people, we get so in tune to that it's hard to almost pull out of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's
so
why
definitely over saturated with
definitely,
sexuality.
definitely, sex is the norm. It's fetch. It's in. It's been in.
And need to calm down though.
But another thing that really caught my eye too in that article was we say we want one thing, and then we turn around and we really don't, and we want another thing, or we really don't want it. And that, that goes hand in hand with a lot of, gay men. It's like, oh, we say, I want a relationship, I want to settle down, but meanwhile, you still out here, getting taught, passed around, and you got a different nigga in your bed every other day, every other week. So it's like you're contradicting yourself, because it's like you have your sights set on wanting this relationship, but then you don't want to let go the single part about it, being able to do what you want when you want.
Right.
Another thing that really caught my eye too was we go through a second a second childhood. So the part that really caught me with this was, it says that when gay men and women are hiding, basically they're in the closet, they're down low. It's like they're almost hiding of who exactly they are, because they're afraid to tell their parents, that they are a different way. Just like if a child was to urinate or do a number two on themselves, or make a mistake or have bad grades, they are scared to tell their parent, because they feel like they're going to get repercussions for it. So you almost go back into that childlike mind, because you feel like you're a child again, because, I'm scared to tell my mom or my dad or whoever that I'm gay, I'm a lesbian. You know what I'm saying? So that one really caught to me, because it feels like once you do come out of that shell, you're so liberated to actually be who you are. It's like a second coming for you, because you're able to express yourself and do you, now that you have that weight off your shoulder. So that part really stuck out to me as well. Another one was, we have unrealistic expectations, and that is very so true. We look for the top of the line, top notch man. He has to have a deep voice. He has to be 6 feet and above. He has to have big muscles, tattoos, a 6-figure job, the whole 9 yards. But it's like, that is very unrealistic.
Right.
We read about these men in books and
TV
shows, and it's like, in all reality, there are about 10% of men that are out here like that. And if they are of heterosexual, quote unquote. But that is very true. When the average Joe could be standing right there, and that could actually be the most sweetest guy in the world, ready to give you the world, and you don't want that because he's skinny, he has a squeaky voice, he wears glasses, and things like that, rather than the guy that you want. And then the last point that I want to make too is, we are afraid of commitment.
Yes.
And that just sums everything up, from the sex to wanting something that we really don't want, having being as if we were in a second childhood, and unrealistic expectations. That all boils into, we are afraid to commit. We don't want to commit. And that is very, very true. Majority of gay men do not want to commit, because they're so tied up in
to the fantasy,
the easy stuff,
and
the
fantasy,
fantasy, the desires, the just everything about it, just being free, living free. Why would I want to be tied down when I can be, quote unquote, Peter Pan? Or I can be a fairy or a unicorn, or whatever the case is.
Or getting a pussy drilled.
That's what I mean. And some of that, I want to go there, but that is very true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all go through it. I go through that.
So if you could give somebody advice that was trying to
advice, if you want to do it, as far as the thing with
the disapproval,
family, with the disapprovals, I've never saw any.
Because we know Boosie, if any of his child come out
girl,
gay,
he might kill them children. But I've never seen any disapprovals from families with marriages. But as far as someone just a disapproval of just being yourself,
shout out to our friends that got married.
You have to be yourself at the end of the day. You cannot think about what people
Right.
think of you.
People
And
gonna
if
get
you
and
want,
now, baby, people was getting married back in the day,
right,
but now
if
they
you
really
want,
about to get married.
right, if you want to marry or spouse somebody that you really love, gay, straight, whatever the case is, do
Unicorn,
it.
snake.
I mean, if the family doesn't approve it, then they don't approve it. Eventually, they will come around.
Right.
We've seen that a lot. That family members come around. They're stubborn. They're hard-headed. They're stuck in their old ways. But eventually, they will come around. So, do you, boo?
Do you, mom? But before we get to this hop and tea and we talk about millennials, we're gonna give y'all another joint from 602 Profit, because I like the joints he got. It got a real, you know, throwback-ish beat selection you got with the jazz style beats. I really like that in hip hop, and I really, that's just my favorite, like those 808s and all those deep beats. I like stuff like that, authentic, nostalgic, if I said that right. But we're gonna give y'all another joint from our feature artist. Here is one from one of his songs. Um, let's play Withdrawal. Let's play Withdrawal. So we're gonna be back, and we're gonna talk about millennials and divorce, and then we're gonna give y'all the tea, and then it's gonna be on and popping. So we'll be back. Hear me.
You know all the ways that get to me. Battles in my bones, they make me weak.
I can't breathe, I need oxygen. It's hard to be the best when I'm lacking confidence. So fuck your compliments. Mama says I got no common sense. Dark thoughts feeling ominous. Made mistakes, now I'm dealing with the consequence. It's hard to be positive when no one knows who profit is. But I prefer to stay anonymous. Spent all my money, left me profitless. Sick to my stomach, I might vomit shit. Lost inside metropolis. Look into my consciousness, I can't find no competence. I don't wanna hear about your politics. I've been going through apocalypse. My mind is like a prison. I lock myself inside my room so I can stay hidden. I pray that I'm forgiven for all my fucking sinning. I see the room is spinning. So much for happy endings, I guess it's just beginning.
You know all the ways that get to me. Battles in my bones, they make me weak. Whenever you're gone, I withdraw, withdraw, withdraw. You know all the ways that get to me. Battles in my bones, they make me weak. Whenever you're gone, I withdraw, withdraw, withdraw.
I hate the way I think, I hate the way I move, I hate the way I win, I love the way I lose. I'm feeling so confused, I think I lost my groove, I think I need a group. I hate these peaceful views, all I feel is blue. But this ain't nothing new, this that hidden truth. Ain't no way to soothe this forbidden fruit. This that crooked youth, not the same, we different. I need to keep my distance, I can't be persistent. I think I lost ambition, I think I'm out commission. Sometimes I lie awake, I still hide away. I like to isolate, I'm trying to find my way. I'm trying to solve my fate, so please don't aggravate. So please don't agitate, so please don't add the hate. I like to keep my space, so please don't gravitate. This that food for thought, so you should grab a plate. Grab a plate, grab a plate.
You know all the ways that get to me. Battles in my bones, they make me weak. Whenever you're gone, I withdraw, withdraw, withdraw. You know all the ways that get to me. Battles in my bones, they make me weak. Whenever you're gone, I withdraw, withdraw, withdraw.
Yeah, that was a Profit Withdrawal. I likes that. You hear me? D.Jon, how? Let's just, like, just get back into it. Let's talk about millennials and divorce. Take us there.
Okay, well, the CDC did a study, and according to them, the divorce rate in the U.S. is 3.2 per 1,000 people. So that rate decreased by 18% between 2008 and 2016. We do see that a lot. I could think of somebody personally that I knew. Her and the guy wasn't even married for a year.
And was done.
Done. And I'm talking about we were probably in our early 20s when they got
Wow.
married. Yeah, so I think the reason why we see a lot of divorces in millennials, I just feel like, it goes back to people not really knowing if that's what they really want to do. Peer
Right.
pressure.
Right.
You know, it may not be something that, it
Ye-
might be something that you want, but it might necessarily mean that needs to happen right there in that
Exactly.
moment. So I just feel like
Just because
we
something
rush
that looks
into
good for you, I think you should take your
we
time
rush too
and
much
see if
into
you
it.
and exactly see if it's for you. See if it's for you. Like at the end of the day, don't get married on these false hopes and these false ideals that you created in your head to believe like this is how it's supposed to be when it might not be that. Wait and like one part of the article was saying like millennials actually prefer to get is more be more stable first
Before
before
they have
get
children
married.
and marriage
So
and then
that's why
children.
divorce rate is basically saying that you're
Mm-hmm.
more likely to being married and you're more likely to be the
Mm-hmm.
divorce. It's half and half.
Mm-hmm.
But people
Mm-hmm.
at a certain age bracket is choosing not to get married at all
Mhm. And
because
don't get us wrong. Like we do have millennials that get married at a
and
young
being
age and are
successful.
successful.
I seen a
I
couple.
know a lot of people
A
like that.
couple from high
They've
school
been
that was
together
together all the
since,
way in high school and
right,
got
and
15 children
now
now.
they got all these kids, or they have like 4 kids, and
Happy
they're
home,
doing
driving
good.
trucks and shit.
It just feel if it's for you,
It's for
if you and
you.
that person are meant, it's gonna work out. You're not gonna It's not gonna be the easiest thing, but it's
Right,
gonna work out. You know.
right. So that's all we can tell you.
Hmm.
But without wait, but we can go on and on about this topic. Let's get down to this messy C. So, Gayle King talks to Oprah Winfrey about the backlash from the Kobe Bryant interview. D.Jon, take it away, because I
Okay.
know she said some hot mess.
So everything that we report comes from the.
Messy shade. Getting me.
So, so shortly after Kobe Bryant's death, Gayle Kim found herself in the middle of a whirlwind
Gayle
of controversy.
King.
Why do I always say Gayle Kim? I'm thinking of the wrestler that used to wrestle for WWE TNA.
Yes.
I am tripping.
You did that the last time.
I always do that.
Gayle King.
Gayle Kim. Shout out to Gayle Kim.
In the hashtags, I'm putting Gayle Kim.
So, Gayle King found herself in the middle of a whirlwind of controversy when she decided to bring up his past sexual assault allegations while interviewing Lisa Leslie. The backlash from her questioning was immediately and extreme, while now she just revealed that the experience was like a new interview with her bestie, Oprah Winfrey. At People Reports on March 7th, during the last stop of her Oprah Winfrey's 2020 Vision, Your Life in Focus tour in Denver, Colorado, Oprah interviewed her best friend, Gayle King,
Okay, got
about
it
the
right.
backlash, specifically the death threats, had harsh comments,
Girl.
and various attacks of her journalist integrity. Gayle recalled how things were very painful to deal with when the fallout happened. This is what Gayle had to say, and I quote, "I have moved on. Is there a scab?
I have moved
Yeah,
on.
but I have moved on. I put on my game face and my big girl pants because I've never lost sight of who I was, but I believe I am, and my intention. I've never lost sight of that, but it certainly was a learning curve, and it was very painful." She wasn't done and added more to her initial statement. "I think we can disagree politically. We can disagree socially if you want to, but I just think humanity should prevail always. I think we still have to figure out a way to navigate that with each other. That we can disagree and you can be mad at me even, but you can't speak to me the way I was spoken to and threatened. As you as you'll recall, one of Gayle's harshest critics was Snoop Dogg, who later apologized for his comments
You raggedy dog-headed ass bitch.
during an appearance on Jada Pinkett's
No,
Red Table
funky
Talk.
raggedy.
So, Kiss Calhoun and what's the word? What are your
But
thoughts?
stop. So I think Gayle King is just like, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try it again, Mom. Because look here, you knew it was the wrong time to bring up those allegations. You knew that, so it's basically now you playing a, not necessarily like you deserve everything that's coming your way, but sometimes you gotta put your sympathy
First. And especially in a matter like that.
right. Fuck all of what he did in the past. That shouldn't even matter. Like, that wasn't even called for. So like, it's basically you paying a price for your own actions. So, you know, we know you hurt. We know, yeah, they shouldn't have went that hard.
Right,
but
they
you just
shouldn't
didn't
have,
know
but guess
he
what?
got people that, you know,
Right.
it's like she forgot. It's like Gayle, like take a throwback to school. Like, you know, Gayle must have thought like Kobe didn't have nobody that was gonna fight for him. She went to, oh yeah, and let's talk about the rape allegation. Oh, so you want, you know, funky dog hated ass hoe. You know, it just like when Nipsey died. You know how many, when Kodak Black said that disrespectful ass shit about Lauren London, you know how many people stopped fucking with Kodak Black after that, and how many people, how, you know, he had to do the apology and everything, but still, it's like, it's not what you say. It is what you say and how you say it, but it is a time and a place for everything. And you fucked up. Right. Eventually, you gotta do some more good stuff for people to, you know.
Because my thing is, I knew she was very aware of what she was doing when she asked that question. She knew the severity and she knew the backlash that she was gonna get from making those comments.
Right.
When the wound is still open.
It's gonna forever be open.
Still open. And it's gonna take a very, very long time for people, including his wife and his surviving children, you know, to cope with it. Because they're not gonna get over it. But they have to live with that, and they have to always hear this stuff come up about her saying these things about their late husband and father.
But yeah, that's just heartbreaking. But it's all on her. So Kenneth Petty has registered as a sex offender in California. So our homegirl Nicki Minaj's husband had got arrested for the charges. So D.Jon give us the tea about Kenneth Petty.
This is a sexy ass man, y'all. I'm just sitting here just looking at him.
And he's a registered sex offender.
And he is sexy.
A sex offender. Offender.
Jesus.
Offender in California.
But good for him that he did that. Because his ass is about to be back in jail. And this hoe was going to be married to...
Well, she is married to a sex offender.
I'm saying she was going to be married to a damn convict too.
She is.
I mean,
he's an ex-con.
Right, but he would have been...
convict music.
But after turning himself into federal authorities for failing to register as a sex offender in the state of California, Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, is now registered in his new home state. Kenneth Petty is still facing federal charges for the mishap, which was discovered back in November of 2019 when he was pulled over by authorities in Beverly Hills. He was given an opportunity to report his new home address, which is required by law of him, but failed to do so while his local case was dropped by the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. He has pleaded not guilty to the federal charges he's still facing. Last Wednesday, he was ordered released by a judge on a $100,000 bond and was forced to hand over his passport in addition to wearing an ankle monitor. If convicted, he faces up to 10 years in prison. Kenneth's next court date has been scheduled for April 28th, 2020. His travel has been limited in Southern California. And that's it. So, what are your thoughts, ma'am?
The only thing I gotta say is that Meek Mill was petty for liking the post. That's all I gotta say. He was so petty.
I didn't see that. But I feel like, that's something you knew that you had to do. So you should have taken care of that business, like, point blank period. Now you gotta deal with this shit that's about to come
I
out.
heard our good auntie Wendy, I mean, she had said
Girl,
that
what
now
have
you
to
gotta.
say? Because I haven't
She
been
said
watching her.
basically she said she ran out of time and she had gave her love 401k about this situation. She said now you messed your career up, like you gonna be married to this offender and it's always gonna follow. But how I feel like, baby, mind the business that pays you. Sponsored by Nicole. Shop at Nicole.
Well, Wendy Williams is gonna mind everybody's
But
business.
it's like
she don't
you
care.
deal with who you deal with, and look
Right.
what happened to you. So let her go through her own. It's her story. Who knows if this might be her happy
Right.
ever after? And everybody have they shit that they did. But some people change, and ultimately he showed that he's changed. He ain't out. He ain't like he got a charge
Right.
on assault again. But it just shows that he with her. They got married. You know what I'm saying? They happy. He must have fucking forgot all this fucking shit. Look how fast that man life changed since he been out. It changed fast as fuck. So he might have fucking forgot and then when you get him pulled over, fuck, boom, you find out you ain't fucking registered. But for Meek Mill to fucking like that fucking shit, he is messy.
He was probably cackling like a horse when he seen that. But moving right along.
Reverend Jesse Jackson endorses Bernie Sanders. You know what? I ain't even fucking voting this shit. Trump can have it. 4 more years. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not voting. I'm not voting. Cause it's like,
Girl.
who the black folks going up for? You got your 2 white black presidents that you got to choose from. So you gonna go with Bernie Sanders being endorsed by Jesse Jackson, or you gonna go with Joe Biden getting endorsed by every fucking black organization and everything? So D.Jon, please tell us about Bernie Sanders and his newfound endorsement, Reverend Jackson Jesse, that didn't even want to endorse Obama with his messy ass. He think he gonna get the vice president slot.
Sips my tea. So it has been a monumental week in politics as Democratic candidates.
This is not monumental. I'm not voting this year.
You better fucking vote.
I'm not. 2020 is Trump. Just fuck it up. Fuck the rest of the years up. Fuck it. Half of us about to fucking die from canola anyway. They got 3
What is
cases of canola and Ola.
I'm so sick of you. Anyways, have been dropping out of the presidential race, but Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden have been standing tall following Super Tuesday.
Yeah.
On Sunday, the legendary Reverend Jesse Jackson,
The legendary,
announced that he was endorsing Bernie Sanders.
I'm not voting.
According to The
This
Hill,
shit is
he said in his
hilarious.
statement, "A people far behind cannot catch up, choosing the most moderate path. The most progressive social and economic path gives us the best chance to catch up, and Senator Bernie Sanders represents the most progressive path. That's why I chose to endorse him today."
Well, what money?
Reverend Jesse Jackson also said that Joe Biden's campaign had also not reached out or ask for his endorsement. So you want them damn people to reach out to you and
Reach
ask.
out and touch.
9 of the former Democratic presidential candidates have endorsed Biden, including Mike Bloomberg and Kamala Harris. As we previously reported, Elizabeth Warren and Bloomberg were the latest candidates to drop out following the Super Tuesday results. Jesse Jackson spoke at a rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where he publicly announced his endorsement. He said to the crowd, "I stand with Bernie Sanders today because he stood with me. I stand with him because he stands with you." Back in 1988, if you know your history, Bernie endorsed Jesse Jackson during his presidential run, which helped him land a primary win in Vermont. Fast forward to 2020, and now people are calling it a full circle moment.
But he didn't become president.
So
He's living vicariously through Bernie Sanders.
So what? So you
already know my thoughts.
I mean, like I was talking to my brother yesterday. I'm just so confused. I don't.
I'm not voting.
Know.
I'm
gonna
who
vote.
they gonna vote? We got 2 people we gotta vote for.
I'm gonna vote.
I'm not
but
voting.
I'm still up in the air.
If they don't say
I want to vote
legalize weed and any of it,
I'm not hear that. So you might as well.
Actually, we have something that's supposed to be going on in Louisiana bill during that time.
Getting a cure for this coronavirus, run about legalizing weed.
Nah,
and stuff.
that's how we immune. They say black people are not dying from this disease,
say,
so
unquote.
we're
Quiet as
checked.
kept.
Checked, we're good.
Anyways, moving along.
Moving right along. DaBaby issues an apology after he 360 John Cena slapped the fuck out of that lady. He slapped the shit. He slapped the shit.
Get up on my seat and take a walk. Oh my god.
He slapped the shit out that lady.
It's y'all.
I
know we're not supposed to be but he slapped the fuck out of that girl. I don't know how many times I watched that video. I had to make sure. I'm like, wait.
He slapped the Diddy Kong out the fuck.
It happened so fast. All you see is the phone, and then you see
pop.
I'm like, damn.
What's the 401k on DaBaby after he issues the apology? Oh, because ain't no way he going for
Trey Boy, a.k.a. DaBaby, last night made an appearance in Tampa. However, things didn't end too well after he was spotted hitting
a
fan in the crowd. Footage from the event showed that the fan had a light in his face. In return, he was seen hitting the fan. As the video began to go viral, DaBaby took to social media to tell his side of what happened and what caused him to react in the manner. He said, "I got 10,000 for whoever got a good angle. Shorty hit me in my eye with her phone." And in all seriousness, she did hit him with that phone.
Bitch, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if my fingernail scrape across your fucking eyeball, bitch. You don't fucking kidding.
That probably was that man reflex.
That's what everybody was saying, that was his natural reflex. Because
right.
He a hood nigga.
He thinking somebody out there.
He pop up.
But he
didn't Ike that fucking girl
but
quick when Anime was in the back of the limousine when they was tussling. And she had scratched Ike.
Stop! He proceeded to post another clip from the incident to prove that she had the phone all up in his face.
But I don't care.
And
he the bigger person.
And that it made contact with his face. He put a caption on the video and said, "Who no shorty government name so my lawyer can get active.
Oh,
So
Lord.
shortly after, DaBaby took to social media to issue a public apology to the fan.
At the end of
He
the day, he
said
was
any
wrong.
video post in his Instagram story, not on his main feed, but his Instagram story that
Yeah.
deletes
Right,
after 24
after
hours.
24 hours.
Or if you feel like deleting that bitch. But I do sincerely apologize. I'm very sorry that was a female on the other end of that flashlight on that phone. But, you know, keep in mind, I couldn't see you because you have a flash that's this close to me, which is okay. It's no problem. A lot of people did. They didn't put it as close as you put it, but a lot of people have flash on me, and that's okay. That's what I signed up for. That's the risk I take when I'm coming to put on a show for my fans. He continued to suggest that the fans should have zoomed in with her phone instead of hitting him in the eye.
Bitch, who thinking
you
about zooming in
you could check
when
the
you
full-
walking past?
You can check the full apology out on the Messy Shade, the Shade Room's
The Messy
Instagram
Shade.
page. According to TMZ, law enforcement
Now they
sources
about to arrest the girl
say that
for
the
the-
victim said DaBaby had the wrong person.
At the
Oh yeah, had the wrong person when he hit her.
Damn.
She claims it was the woman next to her who actually hit him. Once authorities arrived, DaBaby had already left the venue, and the woman that was hit didn't have any visible injuries, and she refused EMS attention when she was asked if she needed treatment.
So he iked her when he did the friend with the cake and hit
So
the
he hit the
friend.
wrong damn person. Right. Right.
And she said,
She-
I don't take that shit from you. Ike, I quit, Ike. Oh, I gotta fucking worry
What
about
we
me.
gotta do is hit me once.
You gotta hit me once. And now your motor get killed. Your motor get killed.
Dog, like he really like that was a
Bitch,
natural. That
I
happened
need the
so
baby to
fast.
fucking punch me in my
He
face
didn't
so I can
think
get a
about
good
it.
million.
It just wow. Like he
Bitch,
hit
I
that
just
girl.
take a couple of thousand, bitch. I don't give a fuck. Just give me a couple of coins if you hitting people left or right.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna
But
go ahead
that's
and
his
settle
natural
it.
habitat.
Yeah,
Y'all gotta
gonna
really.
settle it, and she's gonna get some payment for it.
But we're gonna talk about like this hairdresser's restoring a 4-year-old who called herself ugly, and this was just so you know, it was emotional because the little girl started crying and I dropped a tear and I was like, oh, this little baby is, you know, ugly, but he's doing. Give us the scoop on the Messy Shade.
A 4-year-old girl was getting her hair done on Instagram Live, and she looked into the camera and said, "I'm ugly." Being that a lot of people grow up with many insecurities that range from their physical likeness to everything in between, the moment was definitely heartbreaking, a sad moment, then resulted in a beautiful conversation the 4-year-old's hairdresser followed up with. She reassured our little sis that she was beautiful and encouraged her to start thinking that way of herself too. Don't start. This is a teaching moment. Stop. This is a serious moment.
But that's what that remind me of, that scene in Help.
You is kind. You is
Smart,
You
is
is
important. That is for real.
Moment that
That is that type of moment.
that reminds us to continue to build up our young kings and queens so that they can grow up with self-love.
And I think
Absolutely.
definitely self-love, especially in little girls, especially in dark-skinned girls, because dark-skinned girls get ridiculed a lot in media, family, society. We all discriminate against everybody, and we all talk down about each other. Especially a kid should know like they're ugly. I used to say, like, every time we talk about these kind of conversations, I be telling my friends, like, I'm fortunate that my family embraced all of the shades, and I never was like told that I was ugly at a young age. I always was told I was pretty. Not just saying like people were saying, "Well, you're pretty for a black girl," but people would just say like, "You're so pretty." Like, I know I'm cute, pretty, gorgeous. Can't tell me nothing. I'm conceited now because of that. But
This reminds me of last year when my niece came home and she told my mom and sister that, you know, one of the girls in her class called her ugly.
wow,
And my sister
we
took
shouldn't show
it.
her how to fight.
My sister took it very hard. You know, she was hysterically crying
Oh,
and things like that
Lord.
because she knew, you know, the seriousness of stuff like that and how children are taking their lives. And that's around the time where, you know, a lot of children, you know, were taking their lives, you know, due to bullying and things like that. So I understood, you know, her concern and things like that. Of course, they told her how to handle it. But of course, you know, children say, you know, the darndest things.
Hurtful ass shit. You know,
Yes.
fucking child. You know, a lot of people just can't be themselves nowadays, and children say the harshest shit.
Right.
You can't wear shit without a child saying you look a mess. Like my little cousin gonna say, "Oh, you got
They
got
have
those
some
socks
of the
on. Them
most
socks ugly." I'm
blunt
like, "Well,
children in this world.
they're too blunt. I
They're
be
too
wanting
blunt.
to smack the shit out of them sometimes."
I don't see how they get away with a lot of things that they say, but that was a teachable moment too. You know, them, you know, explaining to her that she's not, you know, she's beautiful and things like that. That's why when I saw that, that reminded me of that moment.
And children need to.
And continue to uplift your children. Another instance last year, where a young boy took his life
Wow.
due to being gay. He took his life because children were bullying him, and nobody was attentive to the matter, you know, at his school and whatnot, and he took his life.
Wow.
And I actually follow his mom on Instagram, and, you know, just to see, you know, that this lady is grieving over that moment, you know, because her child is not here because of what children are doing. And I feel that, you know, as parents, as grandparents, as uncles, aunts, parents, nannies, we need to sit down and we need to talk to our children, because guess what? Yeah, they may not be ours, but they are ours in a sense. And we need to explain to them, you know, that hurtful things hurt people. Everybody is not going to take what you say to them like a grain of salt.
Right.
Just throw it over their shoulders and it's over with.
It's over with.
No, it doesn't work like that. You have people out here that are very soft-hearted, very soft-minded. They take those things and put it into their
Serious.
mind, and they believe it. And they do things to
Weak-minded.
hurt themselves, or it's hard for them to love because of what
What
people
you
have
just
said
said,
and
or
done
the
to
whole-
them. So yeah, we really do need
We got to
to
step our game up.
We really do need to encourage
In the
self-love.
words of the help,
Install
use kind
self-love into our children
use
at a very
smart,
young age.
and use important.
This is a message from What's the Word?
But let's talk about what's Azriel Clary. She claimed that R.Kelly made her eat her own shit. Now, this how I know this fake. I know this ain't the real deal, Scoop. Because you ain't not how she was robbing for him and going to. If a nigga made me eat my own
And
shit, I'm not
fighting.
going to court.
Getting
For
put
him.
out the apartment and fighting the other girl.
Girl,
Why y'all gotta pack
this
your
how I
stuff?
know this shit is fake. But get along with the tea from the messy shade.
Sorry if y'all heard that. But the ongoing sexual assault cases surrounding R. Kelly continue to grow and get more intense, especially since one of his former girlfriends, Azaria Clay, has decided to reveal their most private moments in an upcoming documentary. Azaria drops a bombshell allegation about R. Kelly forcing her. Well, how have you said her name? She know her name. Shit. Forcing her to eat her own feces.
I eat my own shit.
Just when you think things have died down, dozens of new charges, evidence, and allegations are brought forth against R. Kelly. The latest claim is from his former girlfriend, Azari Clay, who just admitted something very outrageous and disgusting. In an upcoming
She got Danziger bread.
In an upcoming R. Kelly documentary called Proceeded
This
from
nigga got trapped in the closet documentaries being published. This is a shame.
From Access Entertainment Network, Azara is seen on video confessing that during the course of their lengthy relationship, R. Kelly allegedly made her eat her own feces out of a cup. Oh, girl, this is like two girls in a cup.
In one cup, bitch. One girl, one cup.
Speaking to federal prosecutors about her evidence against him in the case, Azari says, he has a video of me. He made me do this video of me doing a number 2 in a cup and then eating it out of the cup. Following the on-camera confession, Azari then receives a prison phone call from R. Kelly. He can be heard crying and telling Azari that he loves her. Of course, this conversation took place before she ended their relationship back in December and announced that she would help prosecutors with the case any way she could. Meanwhile, R. Kelly's trial recently got postponed after prosecutors found 100 new pieces of evidence that they now have to review before moving with the case. What are your thoughts on the feces eating and, things?
When we were together, we never turned our backs on each other.
And that's just what she
but
doing.
Now that we separated,
this song is perfect.
Can't stand one. Nah, when you was together, you was eating that fucking shit. Now y'all not together. Now y'all won't fucking play cows. He up in there crying on the phone with you. Now you want to talk about he had you eating shit. Girl, you could have kept that shit to yourself.
Oh my God. This is just horrible. Like, if y'all can make this man's life any worse.
I know he got trapped in the closet.
He's just like, fuck it at this point.
Nah,
he probably tired of crying. He probably trying
I just hope this man don't just be like, kill himself or something. Like, we need R. Kelly because we know this newfound life once he get out of prison. Ooh, them albums about to be lit.
When the hell he gonna get out?
You never know. He could be writing albums right now. But Amanda Seales.
I'm sorry. Those are some of the most horrible allegations you could ever.
He gave us, I believe I can fly. Now he in prison.
That is horrible. Ugh. To make some. You gotta be a super motherfucker to eat your own shit.
Ooh, you gotta be a weak-minded motherfucker to be eating your own shit.
Like I said, you gotta be a stupid.
She ate that fucking shit.
To eat your own shit. That is nasty.
But moving right along. No, I don't want to talk about no more shit. Amanda Seales has social media assuming following her reactions to the Lonnie Love cry. I seen the clip.
I did not see this. Wait.
And it's like her facial reaction, like Lonnie Love busts out crying about how she was from living in the projects eating, and she like,
I'm gonna watch it.
And she like, I think it was more so like she was cut off guard. She didn't expect the girl to bust out crying. It's like
Can you find that for me?
Her
Please
facial reactions was on point.
Please find that
but
for me.
finish the story from a messy stage.
So, roommates, Amanda Seales has only been a permanent host on the daytime talk show The Real for a few weeks. But she is already making headlines in a recent episode. Amanda's facial expressions during Lonnie Love's confession about her weight and many on social media quite assumed. The Real is focused on the differing opinions of all the co-hosts, including Tamara Murray, Adrienne Bailon, and Jeannie Mai. Lonnie Love and newcomer Amanda Seales. However, sometimes it's not the different opinions that get people talking, it's their facial expressions. During a recent conversation on the show, Lonnie revealed that she is an ambassador for Weight Watchers and was promoting its newest weight loss program, My WW.
All right, for big girls, let's go.
That's when she shocked the audience and her co-host, specifically Amanda Seales, when she started crying. Lonnie said this through tears. Hold on. Let me tell y'all, I did not know how to eat. Growing up in the projects, we just had to eat what we could. I know it sounds funny, but a lot of women in the African American community,
Speak for yourself, sis. Because I'm eating healthy over here.
we don't know how to eat because we grew up that way. So I'm trying to tell y'all, thank you to Weight Watchers because we wanted to do this to help our brothers and sisters, everybody. But I see y'all. I see y'all at my comedy shows, and you're like, we need to get healthier, and that's the reason we're doing this. It's just to make y'all aware of what's happening in the community. You can eat and not starve, and you can still lose weight. That's the reason we're doing this. That's when the camera panned over to Amanda, who had a surprised look on her
She was
face
like this.
that immediately sent social media into a tailspin. The clip instantly went viral, and many were assuming by the contrasting reactions between the two ladies. Okay, so let me see.
So like I said, I think it was more so like she was like caught off guard by the the crying and stuff. So I feel like that's what it was. I think that's more what it was. Like what she was talking about was like something they probably had did a round table on already, but they wasn't expecting her to bust out of crying and hard out tears and stuff like that. So I feel like that's what mostly it was. And Amanda was just overall caught off guard, as you can see when you watching the video right now. Like her facial expression was like, "Bitch, what? Like I know you fucking lying. Like, this bitch really up in here crying?" Like, that's what kind of that that's what kind of facial expression she had. So that's what everybody is talking about pretty much.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah,
Lonnie Love is pouring out her weight loss and her heritage eating. And Amanda Seals like, bitch, I know you fucking lying.
I just think she was shocked.
Yeah, she
And
cut off
people
guard
can't
by that
control
crying.
their face expression.
She didn't think that she was
that's
gonna
just
bust out
like-
crying because she was
Right.
eating healthy.
That's just like with a resting bitch face. Like you could be
Right.
sitting,
You
and
don't
I
know
was,
you
and
mug.
actually I was called out on this for doing this in a meeting, and it was like, were you okay? Because I just saw your face, and I was just like, it's a natural thing. It runs in the family on both sides. I mean, we all just are like that. But I was very in tune to the meeting, and I was very intrigued to what was going on. It's just I couldn't control my face because that's how I am. Sometimes I do that, with you when I'm sitting here doing this. I could be looking a certain way,
And I'm
but
like, in my head, I be like, "Bitch, I know he ain't mugging."
right,
And
like he about to tell me off.
Then when you talk, like, I agree with you. Oh, all right, you
Yeah,
right,
like
I
it's just
agree. Like you was just mugged up, like what I said. But I be feeling like that. I be seeing your rusted bitch
we
face.
can't
when
we
talk.
can't control the things that we do, and I think in that situation Amanda just couldn't control it.
That
Like,
was just something. Homegirl was like, "Bitch, I know you fucking lying." But okay, comedian Corey McComb voices his opinion about plus size girls out here in the streets trying to be funny on our plus size girls. So D.Jon, take it away.
Sure. So it's true that comedy is subjective, and that what one person may find funny, another may not. However, comedy shouldn't always be at the expense of others. Comedian Corey Holcomb, okay.
I don't know, bitch. I've been making it.
Fuck, his name. Apparently doesn't seem to care about this, as his recent comments regarding plus-size women have sparked quite the debate and also backlash on social media. During a recent interview on Chicago's WGCI radio, regional comedian Corey Holcomb stopped by for a chat, and somehow the conversation ended up shifting to what is considered desirable for women, and in his opinion, plus-size women are not on the list. Corey had this to say about why, in his opinion, no man wants a plus-size woman. Who you are is the answer to all your problems. I hate when girls who are 300 pounds, be talking about men, be this. I'm like, have you seen you? Men gonna always do you like that because you ain't on your game. And I'm reading this just how he's saying it, y'all. If you get on your game, you might be able to really an attractive woman, and even really got to work. Then the female co-host of the show brought up Lizzo as an example of a plus-size woman being attractive. Although she gave her a backhanded compliment and said her face was pretty, Corey then added this. You think Lizzo is attractive? Lizzo coming out the bathroom in the morning coughing is gonna run any man away. When big girls cough, they run men away. It ain't their fault. It's just if you big and you cough. It's important to note that while he was saying all of this, none of the people in the room attempted to let him know that his comments were offensive and stupid, might I add. Instead, they were all laughing hysterically, of course. However, the backlash was immediate. WGCI turned the comments off on YouTube of the video and deleted many of the comments of the video on Instagram as well.
As should. Because how a fat nigga gonna talk about fat girls? Like, look how he talk. Like, but if you don't chill, like I really hate like when other people try to talk down about other people and like I hate when people use comedy because comedians think that like they don't have no filter of what they say and they could just offend people and turn it into a joke. Well, that's something that's not really funny. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, they're gonna always have somebody that gonna want a chick like Lizzo, and y'all talking all that smack. But niggas is out here. If you go on Pornhub right now and see how all these niggas out here BBW'd out, okay? You'll be surprised. Skinny bitches is not
I just
in.
think that the comments were
Monique gotta get her weight up.
The comments were horrible.
They
and I
was
hate
very
the fact
harsh
that people,
for a person that is also a
You
plus size
big.
man with
you
a fucking
big.
deep voice.
And you think a woman of like
head
123 or something like that want to be with your fat ass? No. So my thing is, why would you even make comments like that? Like,
There's always somebody that
that's stupid. Like, everybody has their picks and chooses and their likes and their dislikes, but I feel like another goes reverse back to this. Stuff like that should not be voiced in settings like that. That's the wrong time to voice that stuff. I feel like when people say off the wall shit like that, I feel like they want the backlash. They want the publicity of the backlash that comes behind it because they know they're gonna get chewed out. They know people are gonna find it funny. So it's just like they're gonna say it because they know
they can say it.
They can say it. And people are gonna find it funny rather than stopping them from saying it.
Well, what's the word? We're gonna stop you when you're wrong. We're gonna tell you.
Right. Because don't nobody want your big ass on top of them. Exactly. And that's on period. Since you want to talk about big women.
Period. And that's how I call bitch. But today was a good show. We enjoyed. Shout out to the featured artist 602 Prophet with some dope music. Keep doing your thing. Keep making dope ass music. Shout out to Sideburns and L Spetta for the theme song. You heard me? Shout out to our fans. And also give us a follow at Yo What's the Word on all social media sites. Don't forget, if you want to be a featured artist, hit the link in our bio or send us an email at yowhat'stheverb504@gmail.com. What else, D.Jon? What else we got?
I mean, that's it. Just continue to support us.
Follow
us on our personal social media.
At Kiss Calhoun on all social media sites.
D.Jon _D.Jon on Instagram. Twitter, it's me _D.Jon, not an E but a 3. I'm not gonna say that because I don't use Snapchat. But yeah, follow me on Twitter and Instagram.
And as always, we're gonna give y'all another one from Prophet. Here's one, Tell Me, from another one from his track. Keep supporting the music, keep sending us dope content, keep following us, keep supporting us. So this one is for Zero. This is from 602 Prophet. Tell Me. You hear me? We out of here.
Peace.
been getting put on. Stay grinding, I don't ever put off. Sleepless nights tossing in my futon until I reach the new dawn. Mama buying groceries with the coupons. I'm trying to put my group on, but all this work and getting interviews. You won't see me in the news. What's a kid supposed to do? Got me singing winter blues. Don't talk to me, I ain't really in the mood. Rappers say they different, but they songs ain't really nothing new. But they get all the attention, leaving me confused, leaving me without a single clue. Like how I do you, like what you got that I don't, like what you'll do that I won't. Please let me know, starting to lose hope. Crumbling lyrics that I wrote, hardly on my room, so my friends think I'm ghost. I've been doing the most, but Felix think I'm dope. But that don't mean shit if I'm barely making $20 for a single show. But that don't mean nothing if I isn't even known. Homie saying that I'm next to blow, but you won't see me in an article or hear me on a podcast. Got me feeling like an outcast, guaranteed I'll outlast. Focus on the art craft. Rappers in my city make it off the politics. So-and-so just got a sponsorship. I've been grinding in a classroom and got a scholarship. I just need a sec, let me recollect. I don't mean no disrespect, but I gotta interject. Pass the ball, I'm finna intercept. They ain't getting half the views on the internet. And I've been on the shows, and no one even showed. I don't mean to come off as a hater, but I'm more than just a rapper, I'm creator. So I don't like how they favored. Feeling like Craig Mack with the new flavor. Do anything to get it, even sign my life away. They just made a splash, and I'm trying to make a tidal wave. They ain't working every day, they ain't grinding like a slave. They ain't getting half the plays, but they getting all the praise, which makes me bitter in my ways, salty in the face. Claim you hungry, but I'm eating all the fucking crumbs. So tell me what you done, tell me who to plug, why you got a buzz, and why you getting love, and why I'm getting snubbed. Took another loss and you took another dub. Got me screaming what? So tell me what you done, tell me who to plug, why you got a buzz, and why you getting love, and why I'm getting snubbed. Took another loss and you took another dub. Got me screaming what? So tell me what you done, tell me who to plug, why you got a buzz, and why you getting love, and why I'm getting snubbed. Took another loss and you took another dub. Got me screaming what? Got me screaming what? Got me screaming what?